Hi friends, hello and welcome to episode 21 of my show Editorial Compass. Friends, in this program I normally take you through anything interesting that I come across while reading. It could be history, geography, sports, movies, or even current affairs. So welcome to my show once again. Today I have for you an article on leadership. The title of which is Leadership, a Tough Ball Game or a Child's Play. Friends, US academic environments define leadership as a process of social influence in which a person can enlist the aid and support of others in the accomplishment of a common task. Leadership is a primordial trait where the ancient leaders were, of course, the blue bloods. Says Henry Kissinger, the task of the leader is to get his people from where they are to where they have not been. Says John C. Maxwell, he's an American author. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. I'll repeat that. American author John C. Maxwell says, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. To me, leadership is neither a tough ball game for all times to come, nor a child's play, but the cyclic median of the two. It's about motivating people to achieve both covert and overt success in their hitherto unproven life. For people who enjoy leadership challenges, it's a child's play right up to the grand finale. And for those who don't, it's a tough ball game, a Herculean task akin to boiling the ocean or even the Achilles heel. But I guess the toughness of leadership wanes in front of dexterity, passion, and perseverance, the hallmark to fame. Sanskrit literature professes 10 types of leaders, where aristocratic thinkers of the past have postulated that leadership depends on one's blue blood or genes, where monarchy takes an extreme view of the same idea. The flock of leadership largely depends on the number of challenges that the environment emits. Environment could be both micro and macro. As and when number of challenges go up, one will find new leaders are born to handle those challenges. So one can safely assume that challenges create leaderships, and concomitantly one can say leaderships envision new challenges. Leadership is a stubborn labyrinth, friends, to begin with, and so a hard nut to crack at the initial stages. But once the tricks of the trade are learnt, it becomes a feather touch to operate. A number of theories have sprung up on leadership, where the trait theory explores at length about the authority of monarchs, lords, and even bishops, and how their authority later began to wane is sumptuously spoken about. The writing of Thomas Carlyle, Scottish philosopher, and Francis Galton, a Victorian-era statistician, whose works have prompted decades of research on the subject, are equally popular. Carlyle identified the talents, skills, and physical characteristics of people who rose to power. Meanwhile, Galton's Hereditary Genius, 1869, examined leadership qualities in the families of powerful men. However, the numbers of eminent relatives dropped off when the focus shifted or moved from first degree to second degree relatives. Galton concluded that qualities of leadership are inherited. In other words, leaders are born, not developed. So both these notable works lent great initial support to the notion that leadership is rooted in the characteristics of a leader. But then, how does one decipher if leadership is a tough ball game or a child's play? Also, how do you explain a recent example of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is not a blue blood nor a born dynast, and comes from a very humble background, yet he turns out to be one of the most known Prime Ministers of India. Over a period of time, the essence of leadership has evolved into simplification of traits and virtues. But before I move forward, let me also tell you that leadership is an extensively written and described art that touches the research area along with practical skills that burnishes the brand of the organization, and within that the team or an individual to achieve the specialized goal. Exceptions are, however, there, just as we have Orwellian states running into dystopia. We also have Orwellian organizations that semaphores as a one-man show, but then that is not the epitome of sound leadership. Leadership has an umbrella of qualities. I would, for your immediate practice, list out some of them. These are indeed effective tools to practice. The supreme quality of leadership is unquestionably integrity. Without it, no real success is possible, no matter whether it is on a section gang, a football field, in an army, or in an office, said President Dwight Eisenhower. Honesty and integrity are two bliss ingredients that make a good leader. How can one expect one's followers to be honest when you yourself lack in these qualities? Leaders succeed when they stick to their values and core beliefs. Remember, without ethics, this will not be possible. Confidence is the core attribute an effective leader must have at his or her command. If you are unsure about your own decisions, then your subordinates will never follow you. As a leader, you have to be oozing with confidence, where one needs to exhibit a ray of swagger and assertiveness to gain the confidence of one's subordinates. But the caution is that confidence should not translate into overconfidence, because that could be suicidal. A leader needs to inspire his or her subjects. I'll repeat that. A leader needs to inspire his or her subjects. They look up to him for guidance. The most difficult job of a leader is to persuade others to follow him. You can only inspire by setting a good example. When the going gets tough, the tough get going, and that is where you come in. A positive leader is calm and positive in all situations and keeps the motivation level high, says American statesman John Quincy Adams. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. If you have commitment and passion in you, nothing remains a challenge. When your teammates see a hands-on person, they too will give their best shot. An effective leader needs to be an effective communicator too. Until you communicate clearly and effectively to your team, things will not move. The other important prowess of leadership skills is the art of decision making. Sound decision making comes with good on-the-job knowledge. This also requires long-term vision, and then we come to accountability, where one needs to follow the approach of late Arnold Glasow, a US businessman, when he said, "A good leader takes a little more than his share of the blame and a little less than his share of the credit." Focus on core issues, friends, issues that will take the organization to greater heights and into the formidable bracket, while delegate and empower the rest to your subordinates, for that will give the right synergy to both the organization and the subordinates to grow. Steve Jobs was way ahead of times. I'll repeat this, I'm sorry. Steve Jobs was way ahead of times on the strength of his visionary thoughts and ideas. Perhaps he had the sixth, seventh, and even the eighth sense about leadership. He went on to say innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. True enough, in order to get ahead in today's fast-paced world, a leader must be both creative and innovative at the same time. Creative thinking and constant innovation is what makes you and your team stand out from the crowd. Think out of the box to come up with unique ideas and turn those ideas and goals into reality. Last but not the least is empathy. A true leader should have a reserve of empathy for his followers, but on the contrary, most leaders only follow a dictatorial style of working these days that lacks empathy altogether. Due to this, they fail to make a closer connect with their followers. The first step towards becoming an effective leader is to understand the problems and feel the pain of your followers. This should be supplemented by the endeavor to provide them with suitable solutions to solve their issues. There is no fixed mode of learning for an effective leader. The path traverses through the high frequency highs and lows of life, and that is why for some people leadership is a tough ball game and for some others a child's play. But yes, there is a lot to learn from the day to day. Let me cite the example of the most influential economist of the 20th century. His name was, I think all of you must have heard, John Maynard Keynes. Although he was an economist, he did not have a formal degree in economics. And if I remember correctly, he had just about 8 days of formal training and the rest was all on-the-job learning. This is what I read somewhere. Yet he turned out to be one of the most influential economists of the world, a revered leader. The offbeat para above solely tells us that for an open mind, everything is a child's play, but for a closed mind, everything is a hard ball game. And of course, in life, one thing that doesn't have a cul-de-sac is the razzmatazz of leadership. This article, friends, was written by me. Do let me know if you liked it. It will encourage me to continue my writing. So friends, that's all I have for today. If you like my show, kindly share it. Also press the like icon. Also subscribe our channel by pressing the red icon. And don't forget to press the bell so that you are notified each time we upload a video. And for now, goodbye and see you soon.